Hi friends, I'm Sandip Singh, and in this video I'm going to be talking about a guide through studying in university. So I'm not really going to talk about like Freshers Week and all that, but I'm mainly just going to be talking about like studying in university in general and your classmates you're going to meet and how uni life is basically like. So let's get started. Now I'm studying in University of Edinburgh and I'm going to be a third year student. I'm studying electronics and computer science. It's basically a joint degree between like electronics and electrical engineering and like computer science. Right now for this semester I'm taking 6 units, and my previous semester I took 5 units. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about like what is a tutorial in university, what is a seminar in university, and what are workshops, labs and lectures. Now first off, let me just say that like all universities are different. So when I'm talking about like workshops and stuff, it might be different for you. So just take it with a bit of salt as well. But basically lectures are all the same. Like lectures, we have like one teacher in front and we'll just listen to the teacher and we'll take down notes. And then there are tutorials. Tutorials might be different for you, but basically in my tutorial, like I had basically a tutorial sheet before the actual tutorial. And basically we were meant to attempt that tutorial sheet, and then inside the actual tutorial, we'll just be discussing like the answers for the tutorial sheet. And then we had like seminars, but like seminars are like just tutorials. And then there are also workshops. Workshops are like a bit more active kind of seminar. Like maybe you have to do like a coursework inside your workshop or something like that. But all of this which I'm saying, it's not always the same for me as well. So just take it with a bit of salt. Whenever like my timetable like says tutorial or like seminar or workshop, I would always like see, is there like a PDF file which like says that I have to do this before or anything like that? And like if there isn't, that means like I just have to go there and like do it when I'm there. But if there is, then I would like at least attempt those questions beforehand. And then when I'm there, then maybe we'll be discussing those questions and stuff like that. So you don't actually need to remember like the definition of seminar and workshop and all that, because it's not true for everyone. And like I advise you, when you're first like going inside your uni, try and like see the campus, how it looks like, and like see where all the buildings are and stuff like that. Even if you don't see the whole campus, that's completely fine. But like just have like a look where everything kind of is and stuff like that. And like for me, for my engineering building, it's like extremely big and I haven't like seen the whole building yet. Inside that campus, there are like individual buildings inside, and like the only way where I know which building should I go is just by using Google Maps. Like honestly, whenever I'm like going somewhere, I would always use Google Maps. And like if you're in week 1, try and do the most amount of work in week 1. Like this is because as the week goes along, it's going to be like much tougher as like weeks go on. So it's best to like do the most amount of work in like week 1. So like maybe in week 1 you can do like work up to like week 3 or something, because you don't have any like assignments when you're in week 1. And like I also want to say that okay to miss lectures and like tutorials and workshops is completely fine. Like for me, there are times when like for the whole week I don't even attend any tutorials, any workshop, because they are also optional, and like sometimes I have like more pressing deadlines. Like for example, throughout the week I might have some assignments and stuff like that, and that will have like a proper deadline, and it's much more important than like attending tutorials and workshop. So I would rather choose doing the assignment than like attending tutorials and workshop. Even lectures, I don't even attend all the lectures. And like your uni, there are some ways where you can actually like communicate with your teachers about like specific topics and so on. Like it doesn't have to be in like the seminars or the tutorial. It can like just be inside like the uni website. Like for me, I had a thing called Piazza, where basically we can like just ask our questions inside that website, and like either the students will answer or like the teacher will answer. So it's more of this collaborative kind of thing with like helping each other out. And like we also have discussion board where we also like ask our questions, and like either the lecturer will answer or like the students will answer. But it is important to ask questions. It is very important to ask questions in uni. Like honestly, even if you have to do an assignment and it's individual, but you're having trouble with it, just ask like your friends or something, or like go inside like the WhatsApp group for like your class or something and just ask it. Because the worst case scenario is that like no one actually responds, which is fine, because like the best case scenario is that like you'll get an answer. A person who asks a question is like a fool for a minute, but a person who doesn't ask a question is like a fool for a lifetime. So it's important to ask questions. And like I also want to say like where my like those hardcore courseworks and assignments actually began. Like I feel like in university, like week 5 and week 6 you have like a lot of assignments, and like week 7 you have a break. But that break is just to prepare you for the next line of assignments in like week week 8 and week 9, and then you might have another break, and then there's another line of assignments and so on. And like all of the assignments, I feel like they all due around the same time. Like there are times where I literally have 3 assignments all due in the span of like 2 days, but that's all fine. But like just remember that like if you're feeling stressed and like you're feeling like tired and burnt out, just remember that you are not alone. It might seem that like other classmates, they all like are perfect in the studies and like they're all doing well, but just to let you know that you're never alone. If you have a feeling that you're being burnt out or like you're stressed, trust me, there's gonna be a ton of classmates who's also feeling the same feeling. So just remember that you are never alone. And like when I was in university for my like first year, I used to be like so stressed about taking notes, and like I used to think like I have to take down every single note which like the teacher says and stuff like that. You don't need to take down like all the notes, and like you don't have to be such a perfectionist. Don't be a perfectionist. Like just take down the relevant notes which you feel is just relevant. Like when you're in the lecture hall and like the teacher can speak very fast, like I would advise you, if the teacher really speaks very fast, just like take rough notes of everything. And like you don't have to take down all of the notes anyways. And when you're back in your accommodation, then you can like, using those rough notes which you took down, try and make questions for them, and like use active recall, which like I explained in another video. If like a unit doesn't have an exam at the end, I wouldn't even bother taking down so many notes as well. Like there's some units where it's talking about ethical kind of stuff, like I don't even take notes for that class at all. And like I just want to say that like when you're in the first year of your uni and you're in like a higher ranking kind of uni, like if you're in these kind of unis, you might feel that like you're a smart student. You might have like got all A stars in your A levels and like all A stars in your GCSEs, but like even if you're like the best student in your class, in these universities there might be a lot more smarter students. There are also like a lot of students which also like have got like all A stars in like A levels and GCSEs, because when you're in this top rank kind of unis, or like somewhat top rank kind of unis, you're basically fighting like the best of the best across like the world, not just in your country but like the world. But like that's alright. Just the main thing is that you don't compare yourself with other students, and that'll be fine. So don't compare yourself with other students, and like let year 1 be like a year of experimentation. So like make mistakes, like sometimes don't go to lectures, see how that feels, like go to tutorials sometimes, and like sometimes miss the tutorials, join clubs and societies. Let it be like a year of experimentation of like life in university. And like don't stress out too much when you're in year 1, because the teachers and like the lecturers, they all know that like you just entered university and like you need some time to get like attuned to like the university vibe. So like they don't expect so much from you. And like if you have like actual lab when you're in year 1, like make sure you attend those lab. Like I had a unit where it was lab for every week, and like they were taking attendance. Honestly, I think any unit which takes attendance are actually important to actually attend. So like they were taking attendance, and like now I know the main reason why. It's because like every single time I was in the lab, it was basically a continuation from the previous lab. So like if you miss the previous lab, then you might not understand the next lab. So make sure that you attend your labs, and like if they're taking attendance, make sure you actually go to the like lectures and stuff like that, because it might be important since they're taking attendance marks. And when I was in my first semester of like university, 3rd of December, our studies basically finished, but like our exam was on the 10th of December, and I literally had like 7 days to study for like 4 exams, because I had 4 exams in semester 1 and I literally had 7 days to study for that. So like just make sure to like look at your university timetable and like plan ahead, that like if you have like an exam like coming in a few months time, just see when your actual teaching actually ends. Like make sure you actually have like enough time to actually plan your revision before your exam. So I just want to say that like if you're having trouble in uni, just ask for help. There's no problem in asking for help. If you're having trouble, just ask for help, and just remember that like you are never alone inside university. Remember that like you don't stress in uni, like have fun in uni, and like remember that everything will be alright in the end. Alright, that's it for this video, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.